Good morning, welcome to another video. Today is Sunday, March 16th. It's a little after 9 o'clock, almost, about 9:10. I have a two workout day today, a run and a bike. And as soon as I get done eating breakfast, because I'm having pancakes, protein pancakes, I will talk about both. So let me eat and get upstairs. I'll see you in a bit. All right, good morning. We made it out to the high school track near the house, about a mile away. Today's workout, I have two workouts today. One is a run, which is why I'm at the track. It's called the Michigan. I don't know why it's called the Michigan, but it is. And the only reason I'm doing it on the track is because it's measured out in meters instead of miles. So I'll put it up on the screen real quick. Basically, it's a progression. 1 mile, it's a 1,600 meter warm up, and then it progresses, a mile, blah, 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 and then it reduces by one lap each time with a 2,000 meter recovery. It's not fun, but I don't know. It's not the Yasso 800s, which is fine. And then when I get home later, I'll probably eat lunch, refuel, and I got a bike workout. And the bike workout is pretty tough, but it's the third tough bike workout this week. And I'll go over why before I do the bike, because I got to go up to the office to actually get ready to get on the bike anyway. So let me finish this run. I'm not going to record anything because I'm by myself, and I don't want to I don't have a tripod to prop the camera up. Plus, running laps is boring. So I'm not going to camera this. I will go talk about it when I'm done. And then when we get upstairs to the office, we'll talk about why this has been a tough bike week, what I've been doing this week, and then today's workout before I actually get it done. And then we'll wrap this up with talking about progress, because tonight is date night and I don't want to be on the camera too long. My wife and I have we're going out to dinner tonight. Nothing special. We realized the other day we haven't been to Applebee's in like 3 or 4 years. I know, not a huge date night, but they just opened the first Applebee IHOP combination restaurant in Schertz, Texas. So we're gonna drive over there, have some dinner, just me and my wife, and then there's a cookie dough dessert spot by UTSA, the University of Texas San Antonio. We're probably gonna drive there, grab some cookie dough dessert, edible cookie dough for dessert, and wrap up the night. So, but yeah, let me go get this track workout done before we talk about the bike, and then wrap up this week. We are, I think, like 12 weeks, 13 weeks out, 12 weeks out. I don't know, but I'll see you later.
A few moments later.
All right, finished the run. I'll put it up on the screen. I don't know what it says, but I'll put it up there. It wasn't as bad as it looked. It wasn't as easy as it could have been. It was still a pretty tough run, but I was battling the shit demons towards the end. So I walked the cool down just to I jogged, I think, like the last half mile of the recovery, the cool down. But yeah, not too bad all in all. I mean, I was able to hold the paces. But let me get home, do what I got to do. I'll get changed, eat, and then I'll go upstairs and we'll go over the week, what we've done this week, what we still have to do this afternoon on the bike, and why we're focusing on all of that the way we are. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, it's 4 o'clock right now. We're up in the office, looking at the computer, about to go on a bike ride. I have a 1 hour, 10-minute interval session today. Basically, it's going to be a period of time warm up, and then I have 30 by 40 second intervals at 300 watts, and then a recovery. This is the last workout of the week. I've done all but one workout, and yesterday was just time permitting. I couldn't get my run in. But this has been a very, very tiring week for the legs. It's been mostly bike work all week. I've had 1, 2, 3, this will be the 4th power bike session this week. So it started off the week on Tuesday. I had a 75 minutes at race pace bike ride. Then I went to Friday, where I had power intervals, 14 by 1 minute at the lowest gear possible, so pushing over 350 watts. Yesterday, I had a 3-hour bike ride, mixed intervals with 2 by 15 minutes above race pace. And then I had inside those intervals were 10 by 1 minute at, I think, a little more higher than that. So almost at threshold. And then today I have today's workout. So why are we doing this much work on the legs, specifically on the bike? Because while I'm doing runs, obviously you saw me run earlier with my, laps. I hadn't really done a whole lot of major run work as far as improving speed goes, at least not yet. I mean, there's still plenty of time to go. But why are we focusing on that? Well, I've talked to Dom. If you look at the Ironman 70.3 Pennsylvania bike course, there are 3 hills that you really have to worry about. Okay, I've done the recon. I've talked to people who have done it. I've looked at the bike course menu, or not menu, but the elevation chart. There are 3 main hills that you have to worry about. The first 2 are kind of early on, the first half of the ride. The third one, the big one for that race is at mile 40. I'll screen capture this in a second, and we'll just go over the course so everybody can see it. So let me get set up to screen capture, and I'll put myself down in the corner, okay? All right, so we're looking at the swim right now, and the swim is pretty simple, straight, triangle formation, I don't know if that's counterclockwise or that's clockwise, depending on how you look at it. But let's jump to the bike course. The bike course, this is where, it kind of gets weird, right? So the first hill starts probably around, you could essentially start this at mile 12, almost mile 13, and it's a gradual hill until there's a couple sharp, nothing really major. I think this might be the sharpest section, is 4.8% grade, and it goes up to about here with some downhills, and it's all slightly uphill for a while. And then this hill, right? This hill starting at mile 26, which is the halfway point of the ride. Mile 26, or you can even start it down at mile 25, goes up to about mile 27, almost mile 28. And that's got some, I saw a 13% grade in there right there. So it's got some punchiness to it, a 12, 8, etc. Those are relatively easy hills compared to the last one, which starts right around here at like mile 38. And then it really kind of kicks up until about mile 41. Right, so this one's got some, it's longer. It's got some 6, some 8% grades to it, but it's just longer in duration. So you're looking at, even if you started at 38, you're looking at a 3-mile climb right there. The only benefit to this climb is you have a 1-mile very, very steep downhill, and this is the downhill section that has the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. Whereas if you go over 25 miles an hour in their zone, which is blocked out, you will automatically disqualified. So it's a safety thing. I've seen the hill on the map. The hill is pretty nice. We have a lot of hills like that in Pennsylvania. So why are we focusing on the bike with this course? Well, this hill you see starts at mile 38, which is essentially the back half of the run, and this 3-mile climb is going to shred the quads. It is going to tear up the quads. But once you get to the top at mile 41, you still have 15 miles to get to the finish of that particular leg. Now, while most of it is downhill, you still have to push for 15 more miles, which, if you're doing even 20 miles an hour, is 3 minutes per mile. That's 45 minutes you're pushing in the remainder, but you still have to be able to run. So while my legs are exhausted, they were exhausted earlier this morning for the run, it's because we want my legs to still have power, get used to building up that power so that when my legs are tired, I can still run that half marathon. Now, I need that half marathon around 2 hours for my own personal goals. And Dom knows this. I put it in Training Peaks. So we have to we're trying to build the leg power so that I can handle that 3-mile climb, push for the other 15 miles, and then still have plenty of gas in the tank and whatever else you want to call it in the legs, so that I can push those final 15 miles plus the half marathon at the end. So that's what the goal is. That's what the plan is. There is still plenty of time to work up to that, because if you look there, I mean, I'm not screen capturing this part, but there is still 13 weeks, including from today, the recording of this video. 13 weeks from now is race day. So we have a long way to go. We still have about 11 and a half, 12 weeks of work to put in, and that's okay. But that's the plan. That's what we're going for. I'm going to get on the bike and knock out these intervals. I'm going to get a couple clips, nothing spectacular, just so you can watch me and struggle during these intervals. And then I'm going to shower, and like I said, it's date night with the wife. All right, so just finished up that workout. That was tough. Somewhere around 16 or so, 17, maybe 18. I started struggling with a 305, even though it was 40 seconds. But just my legs are tired enough to where holding 305 and pushing was just tough. So I had to drop it out of erg mode. I was able to like spike up and down. It was good enough to give me a half a star. If you know Zwift, I got a half a star on that. But all right, I'm done. I'll put it up on the board up here so you see that I did it. Good job. I'm gonna wrap this up. I gotta work on training plans for tomorrow for a couple athletes. But other than that, I'm gonna wrap this up. Go to dinner with my wife. Thanks for watching. We are 12 weeks out. Well, 13 weeks, 12 weeks, something like that. I don't know. But we're like 90 days, 3 months out from Pennsylvania. And I'm really looking forward to finishing this race. It's gonna be so much fun. See you in the next week. Next episode next week. I don't know, whatever.